Dodgers down 3-2 and down to their last out in game one. Yeah, the kind of at-bat that every kid that plays baseball dreams of one day having. Bottom of the 10th, bases loaded, World Series, one-run game, Dodgers-Yankees. Reality for Freddie Freeman right here. Cortez delivers. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone! Gibby, meet Freddie. Game one of the World Series. Launches this ball right field. He's found the seats again. It is a fastball. It's ripped down the line. It is gone. A fifth consecutive World Series game with a Freddie Freeman home run. Freeman cracks one deep to right field. And gone again. Freddie Freeman floating in the World Series. You gotta be kidding. Into center field, a base hit. 2 more runs will score. And guess who? It's Freddie Freeman right in the middle of it. Now 12 runs driven in 5 games in this Fall Classic for the ages. Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series! This is the Willie Mays Most Valuable Player Award. Freddie Freeman, it's all yours!
For 5 games in October, the World Series MVP looked like Superman. The first walk-off grand slam in series history. A home run in each of the first 4 games of the Fall Classic. And in only 5 games, he drove in 12 runs, tying the World Series record set 64 years ago, which was accomplished in 7 games. He did all of that on an ankle that would have sidelined most mortals and with broken rib cartilage. Let's get connected with Freddie Freeman. Well, even people like Nomar or fans out there, when they heard after the World Series, oh, he was dealing with torn rib cartilage.
Yeah.
And then he needed surgery on his ankle. How on earth did you perform at that level? How did you perform at all, given all that you were going through?
Yeah, I don't know. I just talked about it. It's when you have Doc and the organization who care so much about you and pour so much into you, you'll do anything you can to try and perform and get out there on the field. And you care about your teammates, you love them very much. So I was in a spot where I thought I could push through it, so that's what I did. Obviously, I had a lot of help going on and a lot of people trying to get me onto that field, but you just care about the organization, the jersey, the fans, and you just want to do everything you can to be out on that field. And I had a lot going on, a lot of injuries, and sometimes I played good. The NLCS, I was really bad, but you just try and do the best you can with what you're given, and I made the most of, at the end.
I'm sure you did. I'm sure you had a lot of motivating factors, but I was also thinking after the fact, I wonder if in some ways you were drawing strength from Max when you saw everything he went through and the courage that he showed and the strength that he showed day to day.
Yeah, I mean, again, Max is doing really good right now. We got a birthday party tonight for him. He turned 4 yesterday, but he's doing really well. And I think when I first came back, I did that press conference and said I would gladly strike out 300-something million times over and over again, Game 7. And for that moment to actually happen 3 months later, and then the complete opposite happens. Obviously, I would never try and compare baseball to seeing your son on a ventilator and fighting for his life. But seeing how much he fought and his recovery, I tried to not compare those things, but when you think about it and just you learn so much without even trying to learn, and just watching him do that, I think, yeah, I probably did draw some strength from him.
Obviously, when you have the World Series performance you did, the walk-off Game 1, and then the 4 straight games with a home run, World Series MVP, it's not going to change you as a person and who you are, but is it life-changing? And has it been life-changing in certain ways for you, whether it's just out and around?
Definitely, that's the big one. I don't think I make it through a day. I had to give blood draw for our physical this morning. They were talking about the Grand Slam as I was giving my blood this morning. So, yeah, I don't think I've made it through a whole day without someone coming up to me or talking about it. And I think that's what's so cool about sports and baseball and in general, the memories that you can create for people and the lifelong memories, it's special. And for me to be able to come through in that moment, something that you dream about as your kids in the backyard, and to actually happen, Yeah, it's not going to change me, but it is special to me that I was able to create such wonderful memories for people that are going to be talking about it for a long time.
They will be talking about it, and they'll also be feeling it for a long time. And I know this firsthand because I was fortunate enough as a teenager to be at Dodger Stadium Game 1 in 1988 when Kirk Gibson hit the walk-off. And still, every time, I'm not kidding you, every time I see that clip of that highlight to this day, it gives me chills. There's going to be people just like me 30, 40 years from now who are going to remember your home run, some who were there, even who weren't there. And they're going to get chills every time they see that. And that's the kind of joy and the feelings that you've brought to millions of people.
Yeah. And I think that's hard for, that's incredible, but it's still hard for me to understand that, you know, with it only being 4 months ago. But I do understand because I've been hearing about, I was there at this point. They come up to me and tell me I was sitting here on this part of the couch, and then I'm seeing tattoos of me on people, and I'm like,
that's weird.
But that's what it meant to so many people, and I think that's what's incredible about sports. It's not just baseball and us. People, there's so many sports that can do this, and I think that's what's so special. But just to be able to be a part of it, and you know, to have that moment for so many people, I'm just glad to be a part of it.
We've heard Andrew Friedman talk about it, Dave Roberts as well. They really want this to be the golden era of Dodger baseball, and if they can, you know, build some sort of a dynasty. You guys just won a World Series, and then you show up back here in Arizona, and you look around that clubhouse, like, oh my gosh, look at all these guys we added to that team from last year.
It's amazing. It's great to be a part of an organization that cares so much about winning year in and year out. And I like to look at it a little differently. We have 50,000+ people come out to us and see us play every single night. They spend their hard-earned money to come watch us play. And for that money to come back into the team and put it back into players to come out, I think that's what's so special. I think that's why LA is so connected, from ownership to fans to front office to players, because it feels like everyone's together, because you spend the hard-earned money and they'll put it right back into the team to create more memories and try to win more championships. And it is amazing what they did last year of bringing Shohei Yoshi, trading for Tyler, Teo, doing all this, and then to go out and get Blake, Michael Conforto, re-sign pretty much everybody that was a free agent on our team. Because it's special to be a part of a group that wants to go out there and try and win every single year. And now it's on us because they did a great job. And now it's on us to go out there and try and do this.
The reality is Freddie Freeman was already on his way to being a Hall of Famer heading to Cooperstown. But with that one swing, Tim, in Game 1 of the World Series, and then the rest of that entire World Series, he just cemented his legacy as one of the all-time great Dodgers and a true legend in this franchise history.
No doubt about it. You talk about signature moments in Guy's career, and certainly winning a World Series in Atlanta was a big moment for him. And coming to the Dodgers just kind of felt like he didn't have that moment yet. But certainly this is going to be one of the biggest moments in Dodger history. And to hear his conversation right there, John, which was great, how humbled he is about people recognizing him and people so emotional about his grand slam and what it meant to them. Kirk Gibson can't go anywhere without being mentioned with that home run, and certainly Freddie Freeman when it's all said and done. And I don't think he understands quite right now, 4 months later, where it's at, but certainly someday it'll set in.
It'll set in when his career is over. I mean, he understands the magnitude of that home run, but not just that home run. He continued his barrage in that World Series. Trust me, I know a lot of Yankee fans hate Freddie Freeman. They respect him. They respect him, but they hate what he did to them. And really rightfully so. He was locked in that World Series. And for him and for us, how lucky are Dodger fans, this Dodger organization, who Freddie Freeman fell in our laps. I remember doing shows in the offseason. He was sitting in free agency and nobody wanted him. I'm like, what are you seeing here? Because I played against him. I saw exactly what he brought to the table. Great leadership, a champion, tireless worker, and a guy you want as a cornerstone of your franchise. And you know what? Dodgers said, okay, we'll take him. Okay, so listen, we are so fortunate to not only get his production, but his leadership. And he was the right man, right spot at that opportunity. And he could have said, you know, I can't play anymore. I'm hurt. I went through so much with my son. My family's been so much. I'm dealing with this rib. My ankle's killing me. I'm going to bow out. I'm hurting the team. No, not the Freemans. Even his dad, who is as tough as nails, said, you know what, maybe it's time you sit out. He went, no, Dad, don't you know who we are as a family? He stuck with it, and he was rewarded with the World Series MVP. So, I mean, it gives me chills just thinking about it. That's why you stay with it. Yeah. That's why you work hard. So I'm so glad we have him and kids could look up to a guy like Freddie Freeman.
World Series MVP and a chance to run it back here in 2025. Still more to come on Access. My spring conversation with Blake Snell, what he thinks of his new teammates so far and what his older brother had to do with his great nickname. Plus, hopefully in about 3 months, Shohei will be back on the mound in a real game. But how much will we actually see him pitch? Predictions ahead for the big show and for Snellzilla. Tomorrow, the first actual baseball game since Walker Buehler struck out Alex Verdugo, Game 5 of the World Series. The first Cactus League game of 2025. Dodgers hosting the Cubs at noon. Sportsnet LA will be your home for every single game in Arizona. For the first week, all of those right there. You see our noon starts. If you miss any of the games, catch the highlights and reaction on Access after every weekday game. Back in November, the Dodgers made the first big splash of the baseball offseason, signing two-time Cy Young Award winner Blake Snell to a 5-year deal. Telling us why the Dodgers were the right fit this time around and where he earned his nickname, I got connected with Snellzilla. Blake Snell, two-time Cy Young Award winner, now a Los Angeles Dodger. Take us through that process if you can. I know it was a much different process this year as opposed to last year when you waited around for a long time, but you were able to get it done pretty quickly, and why you chose the Dodgers.
Yeah, well, first they were the first to reach out, and with that, Andrew and Gomes had the same excitement as me, and after the first conversation with them, I kind of knew this is where I wanted to be, and you know, I was confident we could figure it out to make it happen. And then once it happened, I was just so excited, so happy, because this was the #1 place me and Haley wanted to go. And to have it happen so quickly and for them to come after me and say they wanted me and they want me in Dodger Blue, and to make it happen is a dream come true.
I know Andrew has really wanted to get you here for a long time, and for whatever reason it hadn't worked out in the past. But you said it was your #1 place that you wanted to be. Why would you say that? Even before you started going through the process.
I thought it was cool. I mean, Andrew drafted me. So that right there, like, he already knew, like, he already believed in me then. And then just LA, West Coast, I like the team winning. They just won a World Series, but I really believe in the players that are here to continue to win. And then hearing more about just Andrew, Gomes, the staff, and what they can do to help me become the best player I can be, that sold me as well. And then, yeah, just all together it was just like, there's no better place for me. I was born and raised in Seattle, and LA's just right here, quick flight. Yeah, it just made a lot of sense.
I know you've been on some really talented teams in the past. San Diego, you've been an all-star as well. When you get to the clubhouse here in Arizona and you look around, does it feel like it's somewhat of an all-star team just here at Camelback Ranch?
Yeah, a lot of talent. And it's cool to see. We all have the same. A lot of the guys that just, that are here for this year and just signed to be a Dodger this year, you could see how excited they are, the same way I am. And that's cool, but it speaks volumes to the culture that's been built here before we got here. So I'm very excited to continue to build that and make it a destination everyone wants to be a part of.
You mentioned yourself coming here and some of the other new guys. Obviously, you have the hunger to win a World Series, but I've heard so many of the guys who were on the team last year saying the hunger's even greater for them this year because they want to win it again because of how much they enjoyed winning it last year. And as a newcomer, I imagine you love hearing that these guys are still hungry for more.
Yeah, I mean, if they weren't, I'd be pretty upset. That's what you play for. So to just come here and not want that would be weird. But no, I mean, that's what happens. You got, 3 Hall of Famers at the top of the lineup. All they want to do is win. Plus, when you win, it just makes everything better. Winning it fixes all problems. And it's a beautiful thing. So to be able to hear that, see that, and then as we practice and go to work and see how focused and committed everyone is, it's fun to be a part of.
You've been a part of some rivalries against the Dodgers, whether it was in San Diego or last year in San Francisco. So you've competed against this team a lot. What do you think it's going to be like being on this side now as opposed to going against them?
Well, I think we're going to be stronger because of that. I'm excited about it. I'm confident in my ability and to help us win, and I'm really looking forward to see these guys play defense and hit, and their day to day and how they work, and I'm really coming here to just learn as much as I can.
I like the fact that LA and Snellzilla is able to combine to get some nice swag on your Instagram pages that you're showing off. But I wanted to ask you, where did Snellzilla come from? Is this something you've had since you were a kid? Was it high school, or what was it?
So Snellzilla came from my older brother. Like everything my older brother did, I would do. And that was his gamer tag. So then I put it as like my social media tag, just doing what little brothers do best. And yeah, and then when I got to the big leagues, all the guys started calling me Zilla and Zill, and I was like, why are you calling me that? Not even thinking about it, but yeah, that's where it came from.
Obviously, baseball is the #1 thing in your life, family as well, obviously, because you have a relatively newborn. You just got engaged recently. But what does Blake Snell like to do when he's not competing on the baseball field?
Yeah, be with my family, be with my dogs. Yeah, play like hanging out with my kids is pretty amazing. I like that too. The video games have gone down a lot. I used to like video games, but now I got bigger priorities. So yeah, just hanging out with my family and building that's pretty important to me.
Does being a dad change you in any ways?
Yeah. I didn't think it would. I was pretty, like, oh, I'm gonna keep playing video games, and this is what I'm gonna do the rest of my life. And I play video games, but nowhere near the same. A lot of that time goes to my son, and yeah, I mean, I love the responsibility that I have of being a dad and just impacting my son's life. And I got 18 years to make him, the best human I possibly can.
Great stuff there with Blake Snell. Just a few days ago, Dave Roberts said that his best spring conversations have been with Blake Snell. Jerry saying he has a very unique baseball mind. Those kind of guys are valuable to have on a staff, not only helping himself, but he can help other guys as well.
He has been fascinating. We got a chance to see him at Fan Fest. Obviously, he doesn't talk quickly. He really gathers his thoughts, extremely intelligent, and he's a competitor. So yes, I can understand why manager Dave Roberts loves talking to Blake Snell, because he's a guy that he's a 2-time Cy Young Award winner, but he knows there's still a lot left in the tank. He wants to get better and better. So I love the mental aspect to go along with his physical attributes.
It's interesting to hear him talk about the last few years being in San Diego, being in San Francisco. He didn't have a chance to plant his roots into an organization and really get to know some of the younger players on a team. He was certainly trying to get that next big contract. Now that he's got it, it's a step back for Blake Snell now, and now he can help out the Bobby Millers. He can help out the younger pitchers in the organization, and he can share information and not have to wonder, am I even going to be here next year? Am I going to be with this organization, this pitching coach, this coaching staff? He's going to be here for a few years, and now he can really cement himself as a Dodger.
That is a great point. He can kind of share the information, knowing that, I am going to be here for a long time, but also to get back to his son. Obviously, the video games will subside right now, but when your son gets older, Blake, trust me, Super Mario Kart. Get after your son when he gets about 6, 7, 8 years of age. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And maybe that's why he was ghosting David Vassegh as well, because he has those obligations now at home. Davey, don't get your feelings too hurt. Still ahead, he's the #1 prospect in all of baseball. But what is his rookie ERA going to look like? It is prediction time as we look toward the 2025 regular season.
今後の活躍を見逃さないためにも、ぜひチャンネル登録をお願いします。2024年のワールドシリーズは、ロサンゼルス、ドジャースにとって歴史的な瞬間となった。チームが悲願の優勝を果たしただけでなく、フレディ、フリーマンが圧倒的な活躍を見せ、ワールドシリーズ MVP を獲得するという輝かしい結果を残した。彼の存在がこのシリーズを決定づけたことに異論を唱える者はいないだろう。彼のバットが生んだドラマ、痛みを抱えながらもチームのために戦い続けた姿勢、そしてファンとの深い絆、それら全てが2024年のワールドシリーズを特別なものにした。ワールドシリーズ第1戦、延長10回裏、ドジャースは1点ビハインドで2アウト満塁という状況に追い込まれていた。この瞬間は野球を愛する全ての少年が夢見る場面であり、プレッシャーは計り知れないものだった。しかし、フレディ、フリーマンは迷うことなく打席に立ち、 ネストル・コルテスが投じたボールを完璧に捉えた。打球は勢いよく宇宙間へと伸び、ついにスタンドへと吸い込まれた。ワールドシリーズ史上初となるサヨナラ満塁ホームラン。ドジャーススタジアムは割れんばかりの歓声に包まれ、チームメイトが歓喜の渦の中でフリーマンを迎えた。この一打がワールドシリーズの流れを大きく変える瞬間となった。それだけでは終わらなかった。フレディ・フリーマンはこのシリーズで驚異的な活躍を続けた。第2戦から第4戦にかけて4試合連続ホームランを放ち、ワールドシリーズの新たな歴史を刻んだ。そして最終的に彼はわずか5試合で12打点を記録し、これはワールドシリーズ史上最多記録に並ぶ快挙だった。通常これほどの打点を記録するには7試合が必要とされるが、フリーマンはそれを2試合も短い期間で達成したのだ。彼のバットが触れるたびに試合の流れが変わり、ドジャースの勝利が確実なものになっていった。しかしこの偉業は決して順風満帆に達成されたわけではなかった。フレディ・フリーマンはワールドシリーズ期間中に深刻な負傷を抱えていた。彼は足首の負傷と肋骨軟骨損傷を抱えながら試合に出場していたのだ。通常なら出場すら困難な状態だったが、彼は痛みに耐えながらプレーを続け、チームの勝利のために全力を尽くした。その事実が明らかになった時、ファンや専門家の間には驚きと感動が広がった。彼は単なるスター選手ではなく、真のリーダーであり、チームを勝利へと導く存在だったのだ。試合後、フリーマンはチームメイト、ファン、家族のためにプレーしたかった、それだけだと語った。その言葉には彼の献身的な姿勢と野球に対する深い愛情が込められていた。彼は自分のためではなくチームとファンのために戦い続けた。そしてその努力が報われ、ワールドシリーズ MVP という栄誉を手にすることとなった。フレディ・フリーマンの活躍は単なる個人的な偉業にとどまらなかった。それはドジャースのファン、そして野球ファン全体にとっても忘れられない瞬間となった。彼のサヨナラ満塁ホームランや連続ホームランの活躍はこれから何十年にもわたって語り継がれるだろう。あるファンは1988年のカーク・ギブソンのホームランを今でも見るたびに鳥肌が立つが、今回のフリーマンのホームランも同じように何十年後も語り継がれるだろうと語った。またフリーマン自身もまだ実感は湧かないが、ファンが試合のどこで観戦していたのか話してくれるし、自分のタトゥーを入れた人までいる。それだけ多くの人に影響を与えたというのは本当に特別なことだと述べている。ドジャースはただの一度の優勝に満足しているわけではない。球団社長のアンドリュー・フリードマンはこのチームを黄金時代へと導き、ダイナスティ、王朝を築くと明言している。その言葉通り、2024年のオフシーズンには積極的な補強が行われた。球団はシーズン前に大谷翔平、山本由伸、ブレイク、スネルといったスーパースターを獲得し、すでに強力な戦力にさらなる厚みを加えた。さらにチームの基盤となる選手たちの契約延長にも成功し、今後数年間にわたってワールドシリーズの常連となる準備が整っている。フレディ・フリーマンはこのチームは勝利を追求し続ける組織の中で一体感を持って戦っている。ファンが払ったお金がチームの補強に還元され、それがまた新たな勝利につながる。それがドジャースの素晴らしさだと語っている。彼の言葉には球団とファンの強い結びつきが反映されている。ロサンゼルス・ドジャースは単なる野球チームではなく、街全体が一体となって戦う存在なのだ。ドジャースは2024年のワールドシリーズを制覇し、フレディ・フリーマンはその中心で輝いた。しかし彼らの挑戦はまだ終わらない。2025年シーズン、ドジャースはさらなるタイトルを目指し、新たな歴史を作ろうとしている。そしてファンの期待も高まっている。多くの人がこのチームなら連覇も夢ではないと感じており、新たなシーズンの幕開けを待ちわびている。2025年の開幕戦では大谷翔平のマウンド復帰や新加入選手たちの活躍にも注目が集まる。果たしてドジャースは再びワールドシリーズの舞台に立ち、優勝を勝ち取ることができるのか。その答えはこれからのシーズンの中で明らかになっていくだろう。これからもドジャースの戦いに注目し続けていこう。